Pay attention. If you have ADHD or ADD or other focus issues like I've had and want to learn how to start an activity that you've been putting off for a while and stop procrastination, you have to watch this video. Memory Master Champion Lewis Angel right here with AE Mind, and I'm going to be showing you my technique that I use on a regular basis to help me with procrastination. As soon as you get that thought of, I'll put it off till later, or it's gonna take too long to start doing this, so I'll keep scrolling through Instagram. You know, when you start getting those thoughts, it's a little too late because it's gonna be a snowball effect, and then you're never gonna start that activity, or you're gonna start it when it's too late. When you have to clean your home because of friends or family members are coming over, you're like, oh, you're freaking out, and you're just throwing everything into the closet or underneath the bed. You don't want to get to that point. So how do we prevent that, and how do you get started on activities that you've been putting off? Well, I kind of do a little variation of the Pomodoro technique. If you're familiar with that, if you're a student, or for those of you that are pre-med students or university students and have uses in school, this technique that I'm going to be showing you is very similar to that. What is a Pomodoro technique? And that's where you take 25 minutes of study time. You're not going to focus on anything other than just studying, doing your homework, reading through your textbooks, taking your notes, 25 minutes straight, and then you pause for 5 minutes. And then you set another timer for 25 minutes, and then you pause for 5 minutes. And you do this for 3 to 4 times, and then you take about a 15 to 30 minute break. Well, for me, for a lot of us with these attention deficit issues, we think that that's a little too much, too long of a time for us to devote to a certain task. And I like to think of it as like doing it in quarters. So we watch football games in quarters. We have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. We watch basketball games in quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. See, in basketball, we do what? 12-minute quarters. In American football, we do 15-minute quarters. So I like to do these 15-minute chunks whenever I'm about to start, or I've been putting off on starting something that I know it needs to be done. So let's start with the daunting task of cleaning our room. We've been putting that off. Why? Because we see dirty clothes mixed with clean clothes. We see dishes down on the floor. We see everything just thrown underneath the bed, textbooks, you name it, everything. It's just a messy room. And why have we been putting it off? Well, in our head, we ask ourselves a question. How long is this going to take? And guess what happens? You get an immediate response, consciously or unconsciously, of too long. It's going to take 15,000 hours. I'm not going to wait. No, let's go back, sit on the couch. Let's go back, sit on the bed and scroll through Instagram, scroll through YouTube, watch some more YouTube videos. Awesome. Watch my videos. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Or go through Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We would rather waste time, and we don't view it in our minds as wasting time. We view that as getting things done, believe it or not. Why? Because you get an instant dopamine rush. You're liking photos, you're watching videos, you're going on to the next one. Instagram knows exactly what you want. They're stalking you. They know exactly what categories you like watching, so they feed you more of that. So they reward you with more videos that you like watching, more photos that you like and comment and share with others. So they keep feeding you that. TikTok is very similar. They go through their algorithm. They know exactly what you like watching. Pretty scary, right? But they reward you. They give you these dopamine rushes. You see, with this technique, we're going to change the way that we view accomplishing our goals, accomplishing these grand tasks. We're going to chunk them down into these quarters. So we're not going after accomplishing cleaning our room. We're going into a mindset of tackling a 15-minute increment of cleaning our room. That is what we're going to reward. We're not going to reward the grand wall that we're trying to build. We're trying to reward the brick that we're going to lay, and lay it, as Will Smith says, as perfectly as a brick can be laid.
You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall.
That's what you want to do. That's the reward. After that, you pat yourself on the back. After that, you raise your hands in the air and celebrate. You put on a song. You start dancing. You start singing along. That's when you go off into social media and start scrolling for a few minutes. And hopefully it doesn't go on into a few hours, but you start scrolling for a few minutes. That's okay, because that's a reward. Now you get that extra dopamine hit because you accomplish the 15-minute chunk. So this is what what I want you to do. I want you to start, whatever it is, cleaning your room, picking up a book that you've been putting off, going out for a run. I do this with my runs as well. At first, it was tough to get up and go, but I said, I'm just going to go out for a little brisk walk for 15 minutes, go out 7.5 minutes one way, 7.5 minutes back. That's 15 minutes. Awesome. I'll be proud about doing that task, about accomplishing that workout. Now I go out for runs because it's easy. I know that I'm going on a 5K. That's going to be a good 30 minutes or so. 2 chunks of 15 minutes. So then after that, I just raise my hands up in the air. I celebrate. I pat myself in the back. I imagine like I just beat Usain Bolt and I cross that finish line. That's how I reward myself. But you can do that with reading a book. You've been putting off this Michael Jackson Moonwalk with Michael Jackson book for a long time. And you're like, you know what? It's a 300-page book. I'm not going to read no 300-page book. But I can do 15 minutes of this book right now. That's doable. You sit down and you set a timer. Set your timer on your phone. Set your timer on your computer and say 15 minutes of reading a good book. That's it. After that, put it down. Put down the book. Don't keep reading. Do not. I know it's going to go counter to what you think you're supposed to do, but do not do that. Your reward is in that 15-minute task, accomplishing that 15-minute task. Done. If you want to go off into Instagram or do other things that are normally considered as mind-numbing activities, it's all right. But as long as you don't stay there in that loop and you break it by doing another 15-minute chunk of whether it's reading that book or cleaning your room or cleaning those dishes that you know they've been piling on. Because what do? We dirty one, boom, put it in the sink. We eat another meal, lunchtime, put the dishes there. Drink a cup of sparkling water, put it in the sink. Put it in the sink. Put it in the sink. Whatever it is, we get dishes, we get pots and pans. We put it in the sink, and before you know it, you have this huge pile of pots, pans, and dishes, dirty dishes, right there in the sink instead of cleaning it. And now it's too late because you're thinking in your head, you asked that same questions you asked earlier, how long is this going to take? Your immediate response is too long. That's right, too long. So let's break this down. 15 minutes of cleaning the dishes, 15 minutes of mopping, 15 minutes of sweeping, 15 minutes of vacuuming, whatever it is. Do the 15-minute challenge. I promise you, I guarantee you that you will start seeing the progress in your life, in accomplishing your goals. We have to start being addicted, not to necessarily success, but be addicted to progress. That's how you make progress. That's how you gamify doing these activities that you've been putting off and stop procrastination dead in its tracks. So take the 15-minute challenge. Do this with your study time, with your homework. This is really helpful for individuals that have ADHD, ADD, other focus issues, memory problems as well. Start doing the 15-minute challenge with the tasks that you've been putting off. All right. And then let me know down below, comment down below, how are you going to congratulate yourself? How are you going to reward yourself? Are you going to start dancing? Are you going to go and eat ice cream afterwards? Yes, I know. 15 minutes. Woo! You shouldn't celebrate too much. It's only 15 minutes. You didn't finish your No, it's okay. Go eat a teaspoon of ice cream. Don't eat so much of it. Eat a little bit. And once you're done with the big picture, I finally cleaned my room. It took me 4 or 5 15-minute chunks, but I finally did it. Awesome. Then you do a huge celebration because now you did this massive thing that you thought in your mind was massive, but it really wasn't if you broke it down into the little quarters in your mind. So do that. I guarantee you will be accomplishing a lot of things. And then your family member, your mom's gonna be like, what? How is this room so clean? How are you finishing your homework? It's your little secret. Don't tell them. Just be like, hey, it's fine. Look, I know how to focus now. I know how to pay attention. I learned this all on my own. You don't even have to give me credit. I don't want the credit. Just do it. Just take the action. All right. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to go out and get this done.